Hello, everyone.
Hi, nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Welcome to another episode of BAK BAK, which is a J Fashion interview show where we interview different indie designers from all over the world. Hello, we have people in the audience. I'm very happy that today we are interviewing the designers from Kaneko. They are a Russian lolita brand. Would you like to give us a brief introduction?
Hello, my name is Mikhail. I am the designer of Kaneko, and here's Lisa, my wife and
Hi.
partner in crime, uh, who is also an owner of our brand.
Yeah. Um, so I guess I'm going to just go straight into the questions. Um, I know we have these for anyone in the audience. Just to let you guys know, we have written these questions in advance just because they needed to be translated. So we're going to be following a little bit more stringently than we usually do. But if you have any questions at the end, um, we'll try and get those answered. So you can go ahead and put them in chat, and then we'll try and get them all answered at the very end. So yes. So first of all, how did you two meet?
Uh, we met in 2012, and it was on J-Rock fans party.
Mhm.
Uh, we were during Grey Fans at the time, so nothing interesting.
Yeah, we
I
were
feel
just both fans of J-Rock at that moment, and so we just met because of similar interests, I suppose.
yeah. I think that's a lot of people's dream though, is to have another partner who's also interested in like, J rock and J fashion, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Um how did each of you discover Lolita fashion?
Oh, I myself discovered Lolita fashion around the same time in 2011, 2012. Around the same time, I discovered J-rock fashion, J-rock music, and so I found out about Mana, Moati, and then I started to find out about other brands like H Nauto, Innocent World, and then at the time I mostly wore Gothic and classic Lolita. So that's it, I think. Uh, about Lisa, I offered her to try on a dress at the time, but she didn't really like how she looked. So after my transition in 2017, I sold most of the dresses, and there was one very rare Moati dress that she didn't want me to sell.
She was like,
And
"No."
yes, yes, yes. And she was like, let me try it. And she wore it at another party. And at that moment, she liked how she looked much better. And so she started to wear it around that time, to 2017, I think.
Yeah, that's really sweet. I'm glad that you were able to start wearing it. In terms of how you run your business, how did you learn how to sew and how did that like happen?
Uh, I actually don't know how to sew yet. I was studying clothing construction in college, and
Mhm.
uh, I wasn't a good student. I also started my transition at that moment, and teachers didn't really understand.
Mm.
So I decided to quit uh, my education, and I'm glad I did because I didn't waste any more of my time on horrible Russian higher education. And anyway,
Oh my god.
Anyway, I learned some basic sewing and construction skills there. I sewed a few dresses for our brand, and then we decided that it's better to hire seamstresses or manufacturing because I'm too slow and my skills aren't good enough.
Hmm.
So at some point, I constructed most of the dresses, but recently we hired my ex-classmate from that
Oh.
college.
Hmm.
And she is much more talented constructor than me. So now we are mostly, I'm mostly doing design. That is very easy for me, and I'm very glad I do that. Only that now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I also went to fashion school, and I also was not a very good student.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, construction's really hard.
Yes, it is. And we had our, old Soviet standards of construction,
Hmm.
old Russian standards, and they're really good. Yeah, they're really good, but they are really hard to learn.
Hmm.
There's a lot of things you need to learn because there are some several Soviet standards, old Soviet standards, and it's really hard to learn anything
Wow, yeah.
there.
I didn't know
Also,
that.
with old Soviet teachers.
So in terms of how you run your business, what it sounds like you do a lot of the design work, but what else, who handles all the different things within the business? How does the design process work?
Considering design process, we usually start with an idea, uh, something like a cute fabric or a print idea or something like that. And if we both like it, I draw a sketch with all constructive elements to show it to our constructor. Uh, then we buy fabric or we print fabric and give it to our constructor to uh, sew samples and make patterns. After she finishes all patterns and samples, we take photos. Mm, uh, and especially we do photo shoots especially if we make uh, completely new release.
Hmm.
Usually Lisa is a model. I
Hmm.
take photos, then she edits all the photos. After that, we make a release, and after the release is finished, we are printing all fabric again, and give it all to uh, outsource manufacturers in Moscow,
Hmm.
and then after the items are finished, we clean, pack, and ship all orders together. And we also do all headdresses by ourselves. I do the base of the headdress, and Lisa decorates it.
Hmm.
And I also manage social medias and edit website.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think so.
realize I didn't realize that you guys printed so much of your own fabric. Those are all your
Yeah,
own
and
designs.
Lisa does all the prints. She
Oh
does all.
wow, that's really amazing. Textiles, I feel like, are pretty difficult.
Yeah.
um, let's see. And so, in terms of like how you work, do you ever disagree on what you want to make? Does anyone ever say like, "Oh, like I want to make this," and the other person's like, "No"?
Uh, yes, I think. Yes, we do a lot, and that's good actually. I think that's really good because we don't argue in a bad way.
Hmm.
It is all a constructive criticism. So uh, I really can't imagine how other designers work alone if no one can tell them that they are doing something wrong. For example, you might tell me that my designs are old-fashioned sometimes, and it's okay. So, and if she designs something, because she can construct, sometimes she is offering me something that is really hard to construct.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, how is
So
this going to happen?
yes, 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 like that. We can disagree when we design a postcard, and we will remake it until both of us like it. So I think it's really cool. I would like even more professional people in my team who could criticize me and offer different ways to solve problems. So
Hmm.
I think it's totally okay to disagree,
Hmm.
and it
Yeah.
helps. It really helps us to evolve, I think.
Hmm. It's definitely really helpful to have another eye look at something, especially if
Yeah,
you're like
yeah,
looking at it so much. You're like, oh, like I've been staring at this for so long. I don't even know what to think about it anymore.
yes, yes, like that. Definitely, you totally understand us.
Yeah. Um, so when you decided to start your brand, did you first like sew some things and you think like, oh, I could start a brand, or did you just like launch right into it? But at what point did you feel comfortable enough to say like, oh, this is something I want to sell to other people?
Oh, actually, when we started, we didn't have any money, and I think it was never a matter of comfort
Hmm.
because we had to do something to earn money.
Hmm.
So that's how it was, and I don't think there was. I think like, oh, we are doing something cool, so we should sell it to someone. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, oh, the money is ending, and we need to do something. What we can do?
Hmm.
We can make headdresses. We can do clothing. So let's start doing it. We can't do
Hmm.
anything else.
Yeah, just survival.
Yes, yes, like that.
Yeah. So for both of you, it's your full-time job.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it is.
That's amazing. It's a lot of hard work.
Yes, indeed. Uh, we don't have weekends, so we are working 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Because being a designer, it's like, you have so many different jobs, especially when you're a small business, right? You have to do all the social media, you have
Yes,
to do all the website, you have to do like
yes,
the editing and everything.
yeah, indeed.
So, in terms of your design inspiration, you are known for using a lot of natural fibers like linen, and you draw a lot of inspiration from nature. What draws you to these motifs?
Well, let's start with floral motifs.
Mhm.
I think that really nature is the most talented creator, and I really like uh, all these wonderful animals, beautiful sights, or natural textures like ice or mountains. I think that's really beautiful, and I really can't stop taking inspiration from uh, these motifs.
Mhm.
Uh, I also used to rent a house with a garden for around a year, and since that time, our biggest dream in life is to own our own house with a garden. So I think that's why recent cottagecore trends or slow life trends are really close to us, close to
Hmm.
our brand aesthetic. And talking about natural fabrics, uh, at some point we just started to feel discomfortable wearing polyester.
Hmm.
It was really itchy and hard to breathe. And so we changed most of our wardrobe to natural fabrics. And we thought, why are we making polyester clothing if we are not wearing it ourselves? So
Hmm.
that's why we decided to change uh, the things we make and make it totally out of or mostly out of natural fabrics.
Hmm.
And that's how it is. Uh, we also really hope that it will make our production more sustainable, and so that's how it happened.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like a lot of Lolitas have said similar things where they don't feel very comfortable wearing synthetic fibers. So it's probably really good for those people
Yeah,
if they're looking for more natural fibers
yeah,
to wear for that to be an option for them.
yeah. We felt really the same, and our casual wardrobe changed to mostly natural fabrics. So we decided we need to change it to
Hmm.
in our brand, in how we make items
Hmm.
ourselves.
Yeah. Was it difficult to switch over to natural fibers in terms of production? Because I know it does print a little bit differently.
Oh, we that's one thing when we where we are lucky that we live in Russia. That's the only thing, really, because Russia is known for making a lot of good quality and not very expensive, cheap, like cheap and cotton and linen
Mm-hmm.
fabrics. And we also have quite a good infrastructure. So we have printing companies that uh, work with natural fabrics. So it was quite easy for us,
Okay.
and not very and not as expensive for like European brands. So that's a good point to live in Russia.
Yeah, yeah, because I know a lot of at least I know a lot of brands who are based in here in the U.S. The reason why they don't do um, prints that much is because it's just so expensive for people here to manufacture those.
Yeah,
So,
we have the printing companies in our country, and we don't need to make prints like in China to make it
hmm.
cheaper. It's not as cheap as in China,
Hmm.
but it is not as expensive as it is in Europe or United States. So it's really good for us.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really good that you have that option. I really wish that other places could, follow
Yeah,
suit and also, have
yeah,
that easily available.
we're lucky to live in Russia.
In terms of other inspiration that you use for your brand, it seems like you use a lot of historical inspiration in your designs. I always see you guys posting like historical inspiration on your
Yeah.
Twitter. What do you think is your favorite historical era for clothing?
Mm, I don't think we have one because I think that every historical era has its fascinating details,
Mhm.
fascinating, I would say, trends, and we just want to take inspiration from all of them.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a really great part about Lolita and also just J fashion in general is that you take all these different historical inspirations and you just mash them up, and that's what makes the fashion, which is really fun.
Yeah. Though I think some reenactors might feel this is something inappropriate, but
It's
we are not
a
actors, so
yeah,
we
yeah,
can
it's a
do whatever
different
we want.
thing. Is there a design idea that you haven't made yet because you haven't had the time for it, or because it hasn't been possible with your current circumstances that you would possibly want to do in the future?
Yeah, a lot actually. As I said, I am mostly designing now because I don't have to construct the items anymore.
Hmm.
So, as I said, it is really, really easy for me, and I really love it. So, I can do like 5 new designs a day, and we just don't have enough time to release them all. There are
Hmm.
also delays on manufacturers because of which we don't release as much as we would like to. So, for example, Lisa is wearing the new dress.
Hmm.
We already made it, and we just really don't know when we will release it because we just don't have enough time to make pre-orders to produce each of them, and there are like 10 ready designs and for upcoming designs that we haven't planned when we will release them yet.
Hmm.
Also, we would like to make gold prints, and unfortunately, we don't have a big silk screening company in Russia, and
Hmm.
we really don't want to make them in China as it's hard to control their production process.
Right. Yeah. It's because of communication reasons and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So that's it, I think.
Hmm. Well, at least that means that people have a lot of different designs to look forward to for like the very far future,
Yeah,
right? They
if
always have
our
something.
productions will make it all, our
Yeah.
manufacturers, I mean.
Hmm. Another thing that you, as a brand, you both have done is you have put money towards charitable organizations through your sales, such as local wildlife or LGBTQ plus groups. Can you tell us why this is important for you and your brand?
Because the struggle is real. I really can say that uh, we are related to every foundation to which we donate. For example, I think I don't need to explain the situation with LGBTQ plus rights in Russia.
Hmm.
Uh, there was an organization called Russian LGBT Network, where I found a lot of information about about how about the transgender transition and
Hmm.
how I can make it. So, and at the same time, we also watched movie called Welcome to Chechnya about murders of gay people in Caucasus.
Hmm.
So, uh, meaning all that, we really wanted to help this foundation. They are helping, they are volunteering in Caucasus to save people there, and we really wanted to help them. And about wildlife, it's not a local foundation. We helped South African penguins, a
Hmm.
foundation which saves South African penguins. Uh, uh, they have an idea where you adopt a penguin for a year and then you can come to South Africa and see how your penguin is doing. I really like that idea about openness of this foundation, so we really wanted to help them too. and we also donated to BLM movement,
Mm-hmm.
to Minnesota Freedom Fund, when we heard about the case with George Floyd's death. Uh, we heard a lot about the horrible situation with racism in United States,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure I'm well informed enough because I never been to States, so I'm not sure I'm able to talk about it, but we can definitely relate to police brutality
Yeah.
because it really happens in Russia more and more too. So we really wanted to help the movement, and we donated to Minnesota Freedom Fund when we heard about the case.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah, I can tell that I really uh, think about each foundation where we donate to, and I want to see how open they are, how if I'm connected to the foundation in some way, I really want to help them if they are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I think that's how
Yeah.
we donate.
Mm-hmm. And I think it definitely means a lot for well, for those of us, who live in the states. It really helps for a lot of people when we see our friends, like, overseas, showing support
Yeah,
for that kind of thing, because it
yeah,
is a problem everywhere. So it's really good for everyone to kind of you know be
yeah.
vocal about it.
I see. I get it.
Hmm. um, can you tell us about any in-person events that happen in Russia that you have participated in? Have you been able to vend in person yet?
Yeah, yeah. We are able to vend in person. Our Mr. President said that we won coronavirus, even though in reality we didn't. So, so there aren't any lockdowns in Russia now, and we have big events. And we participated in a local sustainable market in Moscow recently.
Hmm.
Uh, so we didn't sell anything there
Oh no.
because our prices are too big, are too high for Russians, because our economics are struggling, and so we don't think we will participate in Russian events anymore.
Hmm.
I don't think we really want to try to sell in Russia again.
Yeah, I'm also sure that if it's not specifically like a J fashion event or like a Lolita event, if it's like a sustainable market, then a lot of people don't know what it is, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's it too. That's the problem too here.
So they see these dresses and they're like, "What? What is
Yeah, yeah,
this?"
yes, yeah, mushrooms.
Mush.
We sold the dresses with mushrooms, and everyone was like, "Mushrooms? That's drugs, drugs."
Yeah. Over here with like Lolita stuff, we're like, "Why wouldn't you like mushrooms?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're
we love
great."
mushrooms too. So we didn't understand that point.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to sell in Russia, would you want to travel anywhere to try and sell? Do you want to travel for Lolita events, or is there anywhere you would want to travel just for fun?
Oh yes, actually, we love to travel. We really love to travel. When before the pandemic started, we went in a few European street fashion events, and that was our favorite memories connected to the brand. So yeah, both as tourists and as vendors, we would love to travel anywhere really. Like uh, I would love to travel to, I don't know, to Australia, to Africa to Japan island with touristic purposes more, but like really anywhere.
Hmm.
And we would love to visit states too, both as vendors and as tourists. But unfortunately, we can do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after the pandemic ends, I would love to travel.
Yeah. I hope you get to visit here too. I would love to see you guys in person.
Oh,
Um,
Russians can do that now at all, even
Yeah.
not connected to pandemic. We
Oh,
can do
right.
that anymore because uh, the United States embassy doesn't give touristic visas to Russians anymore.
So sorry.
It's not. You don't have to be sorry. uh, it was Russian government that prohibited these options to Russians.
Hmm.
So it's not your fault at all.
Well, in the future, I hope that everyone's able to safely travel again.
Yeah, if we will go, we will not live in Russia at some point. I hope we will be able to
Yeah,
visit the United States.
yeah. Or maybe you can go see those penguins.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to because we adopted one.
Yeah, you can go meet your penguin.
Yes, yes, I would love to meet my penguin.
Yeah. Besides doing fashion things, are there any other hobbies that you like to do in your free time?
We don't have much spare time, but recently we started going to the gym.
Hmm.
Um, it really helps us to distract from the bad thoughts, um, and also we play games.
Hmm.
Lisa is playing Resident Evil Village once or twice a week when we have time. Uh, Otherwise, we also read much more books recently,
Hmm.
and we when we eat, we watch a lot of YouTube videos about politics in Russia and worldwide. So, say politology at
Hmm.
some point, and I think that's it for now.
Hmm.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's it. We don't
Yeah.
have much time for that,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
You mentioned previously that you listen to a lot of J rock. Do you still do that now?
Not anymore.
There's no more time.
Yeah, I listen for some Japanese music, but more like post-punk or
Hmm.
shoegaze or something like that. Ambient, not visual K as it is. Uh, Ты что, не слушаешь? Нет? No, she doesn't.
Yeah. There's no more time.
She listens to British music much more at the moment.
Um, so we're moving on to the serious questions now.
Yeah.
In terms of what you go through as an indie brand or indie brand owner, what are some struggles that you think are you experience from owning a small business?
Oh, that's a lot. When we started, we didn't have any finances at all to invest in our business. Uh, and uh, Sorry, that's our cat.
Oh.
He wants us to go to the kitchen and eat and see how he eats.
Oh, he
So
likes to have people watch.
yes, how he eats.
Yeah. Social eater. Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, we didn't have any finances, and we really want to grow our business to make it more serious, to um, without any big investors. And
Hmm.
so also we don't have any property, and that means that most of the money we earn have to be saved to buy a property for us to live in. And that means we can't afford to make a shop, to make a manufactory, to rent an office, and we rent a 30 square meters apartment where we store all items and all materials, and it's quite hard to live like that. And it's
Hmm.
the biggest problem for us at the moment to store all our items in our apartment, and we really don't want to our items to be stored like that.
Yeah. I've definitely heard that a lot of indie designers, because they can't rent a separate space, their homes just become
Yeah,
like a warehouse.
yeah, and that's it. And also cats, it's really hard to clean anything.
Do you think that there are any barriers that you need to overcome specifically, that because of where you live compared to maybe other indie brands?
Oh, oh, that's a theme for a whole new interview, I think. um, well, let's start that we have to raise prices a few times a year because the inflation in the country is huge, and the cost of materials, cost of production, cost of postal services raises very fast. Uh, Also, we don't have any support from the government at all.
Hmm.
Uh, like when the pandemic started, we were registered as self-employed workers at that moment, and during the whole lockdown, we received a support of around $3
Three?
during $3, yes, during the whole lockdown. Uh, and all self-employed workers received a support like that, something around that $2, $3,
Oh my
and
God.
uh, regular workers didn't receive anything. Business owners didn't receive anything, and they had to pay full salaries for their workers during the whole lockdown,
Hmm.
and that's what that was the situation. No one
Hmm.
received any support from the government. Uh, Also, we are constantly afraid that our business will be finished at the moment when European Union put sanctions against Russia and disable SWIFT payments. Around, I think that most likely, at the same moment, the people will stop working in Russia, and
Mm.
that will be the end of it. And uh, just a month ago, when our Russian government uh, almost started a war with Ukraine again, we
Mm.
were really afraid of that. So I think that's the simplest problems that we have. There's much more of them.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like you
Mostly,
have to be afraid of,
it's
like,
all
for your
because
brand, but also
it's
for yourselves as people, right?
yeah, it's all because of the government. So
Hmm.
we really want to. We would really love to register our company somewhere in Europe, because when you have a legal entity in other country, you don't have such problems.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's possible, we would like to just I don't know, not live there, but at least register the legal entity in some European Union country, because you will not have these problems, most of them.
Yeah. um, if there was one thing that you could tell someone else who is trying to also become an indie designer, what advice would you give to them?
One thing,
Oh, as many things as you would like.
uh, I think one very important thing is time management, because, mm, well, if you take too much orders and you can't make them in time, it's better not to,
Hmm.
because a lot of our colleagues did these things like that, and um, they couldn't make it.
Hmm.
They couldn't make it in time, and it was really hard for them. Uh, so I think that's it.
Yeah, I definitely think, yeah, I agree because a lot of indie designers are very, very, or people who are looking to become designers are very creative people and they're very talented, but they're not necessarily the best at like managing, like doing organization. Because when you're a designer, maybe you're not the best at like, technical, like things like that, right?
Yeah, I'm very nervous about that, and I know sometimes I can do things in time, but if someone asks you, uh, like, when will my order be ready or something like
Hmm.
that, you should always answer to them, and you
Hmm.
should always say sorry. So uh, if you don't do that, at least if you can do that in time, uh, then the customers will not trust you anymore. So
Right.
at least if you are unable to do things in time, you should say sorry, and you should say when you should answer to the customers and say when the orders will be ready.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Transparency, I think, is really important. Let's see. What are your plans for your brand in the future?
Are we talking about the near future or big plans?
And any of them, any of them.
Well, if we're talking about near future, we are planning to release the dress with mushrooms in the end of the month.
I think
Yeah,
people are going to be very excited for that.
I hope so. I hope so. And if we're talking about big plans, first thing we should do is buy ourselves property, and hopefully not in Russia. And after that, we would like to
The cat's like, hey!
go watch How I Eat or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Ну, хорошо.
you've been sitting here for so long. What the
Yeah, yeah,
heck?
yeah. And another big plans. We are planning to uh, make a production
Mhm. Oh!
after we
Shameless.
buy ourselves a property.
Shameless. It's a shameless.
He's
Same
shameless.
here.
uh, we are planning to make a production, uh, an atelier where we are making things,
Mhm.
and afterwards we would like to make an offline shop somewhere. I don't know yet. It's really hard to plan anything uh, in our country when you don't know what happens tomorrow. It's really hard.
Mhm.
So um, uh, our dream option is to register a legal entity in Europe and start working from there. I think it
Mhm.
will be much easier for us.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you have been able to overcome a lot of struggles. And I hope
Oh yes,
that things can get just easier for you going forward.
yes, yes. I hope so too.
So now we have a couple of audience questions that were submitted beforehand. So I'm going to read those out loud to you. From Cupcake Kamisama, if you have a fashion show of your dreams, what would it look like?
Mm, I think a fashion show should be a part of an event,
Hmm.
whether it will be an event from our brand or an event, a multi-brand event. So if we're talking about event from our brand, I would really love to rent a tiny island in the lake, in the middle of a lake,
Hmm.
and with a house to offer transportation to the island, uh, to offer drinks and food to the customers, to the people who attend the event, and uh, I would like to make a fashion show outdoors in
Hmm.
the surrounding of trees and water, and finish the event with an evening party. I think it will be very lovely.
That sounds amazing. I would definitely want to attend something like that.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the outdoor setting is especially
Yeah,
for your brand especially. It sounds like it'd be really like beautiful and fitting.
yeah, yeah. I would love that too.
Um, did we have another question from Jelle on Instagram? Did you imagine your brand coming this far when you first started?
Oh no, we didn't. We never thought about our future plans because we always had a lot of problems in at the moment, and so we never thought dreamed about our brand to survive all of
Hmm.
that, and to be able to come so far. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad that you have succeeded so far, and going forward,
thank you.
I think you'll be, I hope you'll be, able to just keep growing and that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I hope so too.
So that is all of the questions that I have written down. So if anyone in the audience would like to ask any questions, please feel free, and we will try to do our best to answer them. We're gonna wait because there's a slight delay.
Yeah.
Yes. Other than that, we have had several comments saying, first of all, people like the mushroom idea. They're very excited for that. Um, and are very amazed by the idea of the nature outdoorsy fashion show. Oh, okay. So here's a new question: what is your favorite release that you have done?
Lisa's favorite is Book of Flowers
Mm-hmm.
uh, series, and mine, I think, I like the Feast print the most, but I would love to make it in a new cut. The Feast is the print with wine and fish, dead fishes, and something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any more questions? Oh, ooh, here's a good one. Do you have any more plans or concepts for OG style pieces?
Uh, Especially for the live stream, we would like to tell that we are planning an OG overall with pants with the print of mushrooms.
Oh my gosh.
So we are going to show it very soon, and yeah,
Very excited. Here's another one. Will you release Book of Flowers again? This person loves it, but they missed the first release.
We will make an update soon with in-stock items of including Book of Flowers release, and if they will be sold fast, we will also make a pre-order too.
Hmm.
But I think mm, around autumn or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. So look out for that on their social media.
Yeah,
So everyone's very excited for OG.
we're glad. Really glad.
And here's Cookies and Cream with a selfish question, but is Matilde coming back in other colors, namely in black or red?
We are planning another um, uh, stock update with Matilda dresses, but in a new fabric. They will definitely come in black.
Ooh,
Uh,
okay. So
yeah,
Cookies and
we would
Cream.
like to try a new fabric, and I hope you will like it.
She's really excited. Do we have any other questions? Um, I'm not seeing anything. So, do you want to go ahead and show off the items that you were talking about? Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure if there's any more questions at the moment, unless they come in later.
Oh, about OG, I don't know when we will be able to release, but we also prepared West, OG West.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm,
but I'm not sure when we will be able to release it because we didn't have made plan about that yet. So,
mm-hmm.
but we already have samples, and I hope we will start making them soon, and we will post them in stock.
Yeah, everyone's very excited about vests as well. Okay. Is that it for questions, everyone in the audience? I think they're mostly just excited for your announcements. That's it. They were like, "Oh, you guys are putting out stuff. We're really happy about it."
We have so much stuff to release, but we really don't know when and how to release it all. It's hard because our manufacturer that we work with have a lot of orders from other brands, and it's really hard to make it all on time.
Yeah, and definitely, I feel like when you're a smaller brand and you have very little orders compared to like a really big, like a big company, they're like, "Oh, we want like 1,000 things." It's not, and then the manufacturers don't prioritize you sometimes because they're like, "Oh, you only want 50 dresses? That's so little, right?"
Yeah, yeah. But actually, 50 dresses is quite big for Russia. You
Hmm.
know, we almost don't have fashion in there, so it's quite old. Yeah, but we would love to make our own atelier or manufactory, but it's really hard in Moscow. The rent is so big because you're in the capital of Russia, and it's really high rent prices there.
Hmm.
I know a
Oh.
lot of Russian brands that made manufacturers and they couldn't uh,
Hmm.
make it all make it, so they started doing orders for other brands too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cookies and Cream is asking, "There's no fashion in Russia?"
Well, it just started to appear. There was a lot of really cool independent brands in Russia. I'm not talking about Lolita now at all, but
Oh.
there's a lot of cool independent brands in Russia, and but because of constant economical political crises, it's really hard to make any business in Russia, and so they're constantly closing down.
Oh, mhm. Okay. I don't think we have any more audience questions. Before we end the interview, is there anything else you would like to share? Rigo.
М, Что еще? We love everyone.
Oh.
Thank you for agreeing to make an interview with us, and I hope my English wasn't as horrible as I made
No,
imagined.
no, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. Yeah, I think it's really important, especially for people who, live in different places to be able to learn about each other in this way and learn about how, brands overseas work, and, the struggles that you guys go through as well.
I hope I wasn't too harsh on Russia. I still love people out there. Uh, I just don't like our government.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I hope I wasn't too uh, harsh about it.
Yeah. No, I think also another thing is like, all the different indie designers go through their individual struggles depending on like their environment and that kind of thing. And what I think, obviously you're going through is unique to where you live. And that's really
Yeah,
important
yeah,
for people to know. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I hope so. I hope it will be better someday.
Yeah. I hope so too. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I think this was really, interesting and enlightening. And also, hopefully, everyone in the comments is really excited for your new releases. I know I'm looking forward to seeing those because you guys have been known for doing like OG stuff as well, and that's not very much of that within even the Lolita brands. So it's really important that people also
Yeah,
are able to buy like
yeah.
pants and
We
that kind
will
of
we will
thing.
post photos with our new OG release.
Mhm.
Just I hope tomorrow or in a few days. So we just ship all Book of Flowers pre-order, and we took photos of all the our new releases that are coming soon. And
Mhm.
I hope we will post it in a few days.
Yeah. So everyone can look forward to that. Yay. So here we are, everyone saying thank you. Okay. Um, and I think that's it. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on. I had a really
Thank
good
you very
time.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.